I'm Li Zhu, a postdoc at Carnegie Earth and Planet Laboratory. My research mainly focuses on the development of computational methods to design and discovery of new materials. And I also apply this method to predict new materials, especially materials under high pressure. Well, I think the coolest part of my research is we can design a new materials on the computer instead of test it in the lab. And we can even know its properties and its functions even before it exists. So recently we have made the first carbon-based clathrate. A clathrate is a kind of a cage-like structure, such like this. Basically, it's a host guest structure, so it has a host structure and can keep in different atoms in this cage. If we put different atoms in this cage, we can have different properties. For example, we can have a superconductor, or we can have insulate, depending on which atoms we put in this cage. Clathrate structure exists a lot in nature, and there's a lot of clathrate such as silicon clathrate, germanium clathrate, water clathrate, and hydrogen clathrate, but non-carbon-based clathrates exist before. The carbon-based clathrate were predicted to have very excellent properties, and the scientists attempted to create the carbon-based clathrate more than 50 years ago, but no carbon clathrate was made. So first, we used the structure prediction method, which we developed to predict the first stable carbon clathrate, and then my colleagues synthesized the carbon clathrate in the lab. So this is the first carbon clathrate in the world, and the realization of the first carbon clathrate will open a new way to study and to synthesize carbon-based materials. Well, becoming a scientist was my dream job since I was a young boy. When I was very young, I heard a story of the discovery of the light bulb by Edison. So I also wanted to be the one who can discover new materials. So when the different chemicals are mixed together, sometimes they will react to form new materials, but sometimes they don't. So I want to contribute to developing a method for the material discovery much faster. This is how I got into this area, computational materials discovery. Actually, I did a lot of predictions for the materials under high pressure, but some new materials only exist under very high pressures, such as larger than 2,000 GPa. So currently, it's very hard to make them in the lab. So I hope in the future we can make that. So it is always hard to make predictions, but I believe that study of new materials will remain the important topics. And so I hope in the future we can discover materials by a wish. That means if scientists or engineers want materials with specific properties, he can just easily find a recipe to make it easily. Erwin Schrödinger, because he is one of the scientists who built the foundation of quantum mechanics. And I believe that quantum mechanics have changed our world dramatically. And basically, all of my work are based on his work. I might be a painter because it's challenging and very fun. And from my point of view, painting makes me see the world through different eyes. I love painting, yeah. I would like to build a materials map, so to establish a navigation system for the material synthesis. As I mentioned before, there's a lot of materials that have been predicted. Many of them have very exciting properties, but most of these predicted materials are metastable structure, which means it's very challenging to synthesize them. So ability to control and disrupt the synthesis of metastable structure would lead to extraordinary discoveries.